The Android 11 developer preview is out now and we have it installed on our Pixel 3 XL. As always, Google's bringing about quite a few new interesting changes with this version of Android, and that is what I'm going to be walking you through in today's video. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and if you do end up liking what you see in this video, please subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get this video started. Since this is a developer preview, it is a little light on visual changes. Instead, most of the big ones are under the hood. Google have made a lot of API changes, strengthened permissions, and tweaked the security protocol. We'll get to all that in a bit, but first, let's take a look at a few of the new features. Number 1. Chat bubbles. They're a default Android 11 feature. Like the chat heads on Facebook Messenger, the default messaging app also supports chat bubbles. We can just tap and hold on a message notification and select Show as a bubble, and this lets us easily continue a conversation without needing to switch back and forth between apps. For now, this only works with the stock Google messaging app, but Google has published an API for it, so popular chat apps like say WhatsApp might adopt it in the future. Now this isn't technically a new feature since it was present in the Android 10 beta as well, but it was later removed, so fingers crossed that doesn't happen this time around. Continuing on the same thread, we now have a special group in the notification shade called Conversations. So everything like text messages, WhatsApp chats and such, it should be grouped under one banner. This kind of reminded me of Symbian days when we could use one app to send and receive texts via various internet messengers. Even BlackBerry had something similar to this with their BlackBerry Hub. Now, another thing about message notifications is that we get quick action buttons right beneath the notification, like a copy option if there is an OTP, an open link if there is a link. We should be able to paste images directly into our quick replies from the notification shade, but sadly, that is one thing we just couldn't quite get working on our Pixel 3 XL. So moving on, native screen recording. This is yet another feature that debuted with the Android 10 beta, and just like the messenger bubbles, this one, it kinda did not find its way onto the final release either. What makes me bullish about the fact that this would find its way onto Android 11 is that this time screen recording is present front and center and not hidden away among some nested options in a menu somewhere. Just tap the screen recording icon from quick toggles and we get this dialog box that allows us to proceed with the recording or cancel it, wait for 3 seconds, and the screen recording starts. We also get the screencast icon on the status bar and the persistent notification about the screen recording in the notifications area with an option to stop, pause, or cancel the recording. We noticed a bug here while testing this feature out. We couldn't get screen recording to work when a chat bubble was floating on the screen, and now there is no option, at least for the time being, to record internal audio or change resolution or orientation of the display. Evidently, this is in a very beta stage as of right now at least. Number 4, dark mode scheduling. Everybody loves dark mode, right? And last year, Android 10 brought along with it a system-wide dark mode. Now with Android 11, we get to schedule that. So there is the default sunset to sunrise option, or we can set up our own custom timing. This is a really handy feature to have, since switching on dark mode manually or using a third-party app, it's kind of a chore. Moving on to the next one, the sharing screen on Android can be a bit of a mess at times with loads of app options cluttering the view. Pinning our most used apps right to the front, it helps us save a few precious seconds of swiping around looking for that one app that is always at the back of the list. And that is something Google's brought right back with Android 11. This next feature, this is one I really love. I can't wait to have this on my phone. It's so simple that it makes you wonder why it's even taken Google so long to get it onto Android. Airplane mode does not turn off Bluetooth anymore. Every time I'm asked to put my phone in airplane mode, when I'm in a flight of course, I do that. I get my earphones disconnected then, and I've got to go into Bluetooth and turn it on and wait for it to pair back. Now, if I do happen to be testing a pair of low-cost Bluetooth earphones, sometimes it just wouldn't pair back immediately, and I'd be tinkering with my phone only for the stewardess to come by and give me a Phone's on airplane mode, please. And then I got a flash and apologetic smile. Anyway, I love the fact that I don't have to do that anymore. Number 7, there have been more changes made to permissions. Apps can no longer get full-time permissions to device features. Like say for example, giving permissions to camera for location access, we have 3 options, only this time while using the app or deny. Even the permissions manager doesn't have the option to allow all the time anymore. Most of us are familiar with an app asking for a specific permission over and over again, despite denying it. Well, that is going to stop with Android 11, since the system will not allow apps to ask for permissions over and over again. So no more annoying permission pop-ups. Number 8, the DND or Do Not Disturb mode gets a facelift too. We have 3 options, People, Apps and Alarms, which have their own submenus. From the People's menu, we can choose to allow calls from anyone or contacts, or start contacts or block them all. There's also a separate option to control the messages to block and to allow or block repeat callers. In the apps menu, we can set up apps to work during Do Not Disturb, and then inside alarms and other interruptions, we get the option to control the notifications from alarms, media sounds, touch sounds, reminders and events. So basically a lot of granular control with regards to the Do Not Disturb mode. It's all a lot cleaner and it's a better way to handle interruptions. As always, there are a few new developer features for us to play around with. First up, only the Bluetooth codecs that are supported by the connected headsets now show up as an option. A handy little addition that I'm sure will be appreciated by all the music lovers out there. Next up, there is this little counter to the top left that shows the screen refresh rate. On a Pixel 3 XL, it is stuck at 60, but on phones that support higher refresh rates, it should show us what those refresh rates are. Now remember, this isn't an FPS counter like Fraps. Instead, it just shows us the refresh rate, what the refresh rate of the screen is. So if there's a variable refresh rate, if the screen is kind of switching between different refresh rates, maybe we can see that. Now we did speak of under the hood changes at the beginning of this video. So here's a small list of API changes that Google has been working on. There's an API to check if the data connection is metered or not, say unlimited home Wi-Fi versus your geo data, and depending on that, it can restrict data speeds. We have a new API that can check for network speeds without using any network data. And of course, this needs hardware support from the included smartphone modem as well. Then there is support for new APIs to better manage and utilize different types of display cutouts. All these punch holes, teardrops, water drops, the notches, even waterfall and foldable displays. There also seems to be improvements for 5G connectivity, and XDA hints at the possibility of supporting an extended screenshot feature in the future. Now, the final change on a list is the gesture settings. It is a hidden setting, which means that we had to search for it specifically by typing gesture settings to find it out. Now what this does right now is simply adjust the swiping area for back from the right and left edge. This is probably to avoid the gesture conflict between the back button and pulling out the hamburger menu in supported apps. Of course, this is still a work in progress, and we expect to see more of this feature in upcoming releases. And honestly, that is true of most of these features. There are bugs here and there, and that's because most features are still under construction. This is a developer preview after all, right? So if you do own a Pixel and that's your daily driver, then I'd highly recommend you against trying to use this one as your primary, on your primary phone. If you do want to check out the latest Android version, if the phone is not your daily driver, if you just want to check it out, bugs and all for yourself, then I'll leave a download link as well as instructions in the description below. And I guess that's pretty much it for, as always, bonus feature time. And yes, this is yet another hidden feature. Battery share only pops up when we search for it in the settings app. When implemented, this should allow wireless reverse charging. Now, considering that most Pixel devices do support wireless charging, I'm curious to see if this is a feature that would be restricted to the new Pixel 5, or if it would trickle down to older generation Pixels as well. So this time, it's really the end of the video. These are the top new features that Android 11 brings with it, at least as of the first developer preview. What do you guys feel about it? Intrigued? Leave a comment down below letting me know what, also do let me know what was your favorite feature. And it is now time I bid you adieu. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about the video. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name is Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.